than us. So what do you do when you're up against someone stronger? You use their bulk and momentum against them. He spun. I put a foot out to trip him up. He went down like a redwood. As he flailed, stunned at his new horizontal position, I got the other wrist in the cuffs. I gave him a tug, but he looked like he preferred to camp out here all night. I rolled my eyes heavenward and asked for patience. This was my last call of the night, and then I'd be off. "Could you stand up for me, please?" I asked in my nicest yet stern voice.
"Nah, I'ma stay right here with my lady love."
Jeremiah gave me a smile, ruined because his mouth smashed into the wood planks beneath him. I looked around at the darkening trees surrounding the property, the sounds of the night animals starting to make themselves known. Going to be a cold one tonight. It may technically be spring, but it's still freezing out here overnight, and you have no shirt. I'd hate for you to catch your death out here, Jeremiah. He shrugged best he could with his hands tied up behind his back.
"Skate."
I sighed. I hated to do it, but there was no way I wanted to spend the next half hour dragging his uncooperative carcass into the back of my cruiser. He'd asked for it. Well, looks like I'll have to get Sheriff Locke down here to collect you. The guy moved so fast I had to jump out of the way. He found his feet and hustled toward my car before I could bark out a laugh. Man, I was jealous. I hoped uttering my name one day would make people jump to attention like that. Our county sheriff was a fair guy, but you didn't want to be on his bad side. He turned 50 soon and seemed to have no time for foolhardiness and shenanigans anymore. His almost 6'5" stature with at least 250 pounds of bulk helped too. The man was a tank with a badge. Boots crunching over the gravel, I got down to the cruiser and opened the back door. Jeremiah made a face I couldn't make out in the dimming light and slid right in. I walked around to the driver's side and radioed in that I had the suspect in custody and would be in shortly to book him in our tiny county jail. Getting in behind the wheel, I stopped short, nose lifting automatically. I gave a test sniff and groaned out loud. I radioed in again. "Got a code brown situation here. Let maintenance know this rig'll need a full clean-out before tomorrow." The dispatcher, a lady in her late 50s, whom I liked before tonight, couldn't contain the peal of laughter before she responded, 10-4, what a shitty night, huh? She broke into laughter again before I cut off the radio and put the car in gear. "Seriously, Jeremiah?" I asked him in the rearview mirror. None too happy to end my night like this. He had the good grace to look embarrassed.
"I've been having tummy troubles, and when you said Sheriff Locke, I just lost control a bit, that's all."
"A bit?" I snapped. My nose said he shit his pants something awful. I pulled my little Grom motorcycle under the carport next to my house in the woods and cut the engine. I'd been saving all my money while working for the sheriff's department to get this house. Having a vehicle seemed a little unnecessary, especially when I spent most of my time in a government-issued cruiser. The Grom was all I needed to get around in the small town of Auburn Hill. Pulling off my helmet, I noticed a light on at my neighbor's house. One of the deciding factors on my house purchase had been only having one neighbor close enough to see daily. I liked my privacy, okay? Old man Jim had been a good guy, never caused any trouble, but sadly, he'd passed away a few months ago. His kids hadn't wanted to move to a small town, so they'd had it on the market. The for sale sign had come down last week, so I guessed my new neighbor had moved in, though I hadn't seen anyone around. I walked closer, not because I was nosy, but because it was neighborly to monitor the goings-on in the area. A huge black truck sat in the driveway, obscuring the front of the house from my view. I snorted and grabbed my cell phone from my back pocket to text my sister Amelia. I held up my pinky and took the shot, the truck in the background. Oakley. Uh-oh, the new neighbor moved in. Seems like he might be compensating for something. Amelia. What's with microdicks buying jacked-up trucks? I snickered and headed back inside my house to make some dinner. I knew Amelia would get my reference. We'd been more like best friends since we were the closest in age out of all the Waldo sisters in high school.